It's Tuesday, April 5th, 2011. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, the card game Yomi.
Yo, it's me.
Mario.
Let's do this.
Over the weekend, I was in Ra-Cha-Cha.
Cold?
Actually, it was warmer there than it is here right now.
Fuck them
Yeah,
Ra-Cha-Chas.
yeah. But, got to eat some DeBellas, and I gotta say, they have a brand new DeBellas. Like, the old one's gone. That shopping plaza over there is, like, abandoned.
The former CompUSA one?
There are so many empty big box stores around there, it's kind of crazy.
How many? What's left? Is the Computer Renaissance still there?
No.
No?
But the DeBellas is, like...
Where did it move to?
It's right on Jefferson now, like, right by all the other stuff. Like, near where the Bruggers used to be and everything.
Oh, okay.
But anyway... This DeBellas is freaking gigantic.
Uh-huh.
Like 2 stories tall on the inside.
You can go upstairs inside of it?
No, it's just a gigantic tall ceiling.
Oh, it always had a pretty tall ceiling.
It's way taller. I think twice as tall.
20% cooler.
But I got to have some DeBellas, and you know what? It's kind of like rewatching Ava. Every time I think, you know what, that wasn't as good as it.
What are you, stupid?
Or like when I, not that long ago, I was like playing Zelda 1 again, and I remembered, oh wait, one of the best games ever.
You just don't learn your lesson, do you?
Yeah, DeBellas pretty much has the best subs in the world.
I don't know about the world.
The best subs I have ever had, short of occasional one-off subs.
Yeah.
Made by experts.
That's right.
I mean, but on the way back, feel a little ooky. Not from DeBellas, because I shared DeBellas with many other people who did not get sick. But,
maybe was there an ingredient in your DeBellas that was not in anyone
I had
else?
the exact same DeBella made by the same person that someone else had, and they were fine.
Uh-huh.
And Emily had a different DeBella that someone else also had. Neither one of them got sick.
All right.
So, yeah, horrible food poisoning.
What
all
did you
day.
eat before the DeBella?
A whole bunch of different things. I can't really... Maybe it was the raw sprouts mixed with uncooked eggs.
That's it.
I don't know.
That's the one.
But, yeah. Horrible food poisoning. Didn't go to work yesterday.
You deserve it.
The best part of this is I like rock climb and ski and bike and rollerblade, and I do all this stuff, and I'm trying to learn parkour, and I'm kind of an active guy. You'd think when I injure myself, the inevitable day when I seriously injure myself, it will be because I was doing something dangerous. No, in fact, I threw my back out so bad I couldn't walk on Sunday in the course of vomiting. I vomited so violently I threw out my back.
That'll happen.
The worst part is, think about this, I vomit. In the course of vomiting, I throw out my back. I fall over backwards and proceed to continue vomiting. That was my lowest moment. There's very much little lower than that.
You didn't suffocate on the vomits?
Because at least the last time I got horrible food poisoning, I was hospitalized before I fell over backwards vomiting.
You seem to have a trend here.
My body's my go-to thing. If there's any trouble, my body's like, what do we do? Vomit.
I'll resist bargaining until the end of days.
I will too. My body has other ideas. Its expert system is like, is there a problem? Can this be solved by vomiting? Vomit anyway.
My streak is now very long.
So yeah, that was awesome. And I missed work.
Good job.
And today I feel great, but I think that's because I ate solid food for the first time in 2 days.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all. Also, no fucking My Little Pony on Friday.
Nope. Maybe this Friday.
It better be.
There better be.
I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. Send an angry letter to Hasbro. I've already talked to them. They have no interest in
It
any
says
way.
here, A Bird in the Hoof, April 8th.
Now, I wonder, is Celestia purposefully neglecting her bird, or is she angry that they intervened such that they have to cover it up?
Fluttershy tries to help the princess' sick bird without her permission, and the ponies help smooth it over.
Yeah, smooth it over. That implies that Celestia might not be 100% on the up and up.
I think it's one of those situations where she doesn't mind that she helped the bird. It's that she broke some other rule in the course of helping the bird, like going into a forbidden area.
Ah, the forbidden gulag where Luna's locked up.
Yes. Anyway.
So, because I had food poisoning and I couldn't even lie down because I also hurt my back, I sat on the couch poking at my Xbox all day. So I bought Shadow Complex and played a whole bunch of it, and it was pretty good, like you said. It's kind of
It's
Metroid-ish.
Metroid, but
yeah.
it's not long enough.
Nah, which is fine because I don't have the patience if it was longer.
I would have had the patience for if it was longer, but I don't have the patience to play the same game to get 100% completion in the same areas over and over again.
I think it's more that I have more patience for a very long game like that if it's on a portable. Like Castlevania, I'll pretty much play that forever. I could play an infinite Castlevania and never get bored with it because I can play it like on the subway. But if I'm at home, I have so many more things I can do that I really don't have patience for Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm.
But I also noticed that the demo for the new Russian attack was there, so I played that all the way through, and there is not nearly enough rushing, coupled with the fact that the attacking is not so fun.
Really?
It's basically a shitty version of Castle Crashers with no 3D, it's just 2D. So you walk up to a guy and it's like heavy attack, light attack, block.
But the original Russian attack, people don't know that game, but that was like some great game. You couldn't stop rushing.
It's just rush.
And there was constant attacking, and if you didn't constantly attack, there was dying.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
For me, that game was basically rush into the game genie. I never beat it legit. I never even got close to beating it legit. Fuck that game.
Mm-hmm.
But Russian Attack Ex-Patriot tried to make a plot, like a for serious plot that is basically...
Why do you need a plot? Here's the plot. You ready? Go, go, go.
Russian Attack the Russians. That's the game.
Go, go, go. Puff, puff, puff.
No, but basically, there's
No,
this
don't
whole
stop
plot.
going. Go.
So tell me if you've
Jump,
heard this.
gypsy.
Tell me if you've heard this plot before. A meteor strikes somewhere in Russia. It causes a crystal to grow. That crystal is mad energy. The Russians harvest it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, that's the plot.
All right.
And then I'm in a prison, and there's all this dialogue I just don't care about. And then they let me out of the prison. And
Why is there dialogue? The game should consist of nothing but rushing and also attacking.
so I stab motherfuckers.
No defending, no stopping, no walking.
And in
only
the course
rushing.
of stabbing motherfuckers, I have two choices at all junctures: stealth or not stealth.
Why is there stealth? It's not hide and attack. It's rush.
The game is pretty much like, yeah, you want to hide everywhere, and we're going to give you like 1,000 different hide buttons and only 2 stab motherfucker buttons.
What the fuck? Who made this game?
I found a grenade.
Clearly, someone just took the name Russian Attack and made some other game that was not Russian Attack.
They really focused on Russians, as in the nationality, as opposed to
but that's
Russian.
not. But it's not Russian. RUSSIAN. Did they read it wrong? Because it's RUSS. It's RUSH''N.
Yeah.
As in you are rushing.
I'm an American soldier in a gulag stabbing motherfuckers in Russia.
As in rush. And like, you know, Toys R Us is rush and attack. Rush
yeah,
and
you
attack.
really don't want to rush because then you get caught by bad guys. You really want to crouch down and sneak and hide in the hole.
Well, now
or
I know
the
not
door.
to pay money for this game.
Now, if you want to hide in the door, you hit up, but if you want to hide in the hole, you hit Y.
Yeah, I'm not playing this now.
Oh yeah, health packs too.
But you know what I will play?
Health packs that you have to use explicitly with the D-pad.
You know what though? I got every
And night vision that basically you turn it on when you need it and you turn it off when you don't need it, and it doesn't do anything interesting.
I got ROMs of every NES, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color game ever on my DS piracy card.
I should really get a DS piracy card.
And now I can play Russian Attack.
Yeah, I am so not impressed with Russian Attack Ex-Patriot that it's difficult to describe to you how uncomfortably bad it... Not bad. If it was bad, it would be more fun. It's just so desperately mediocre.
Uh-huh.
To quote Wikipedia, players will be able to perform shank combos in addition to the stealth kills.
Why are there stealth kills?
The game is all about shanking, you realize. You just have a knife, and you have like 1,000 ways to
But
kill
in
a
Russian
motherfucker.
Attack, didn't you have like a rocket launchers and machine guns and all sorts of ridiculous
Well,
shit?
until you run out of ammo, and then it's knives till the end.
I know that, but I'm saying there were rocket launchers and machine guns available to you.
Yeah, so screw this game.
All right.
Just if you want a game like this, play Bionic Commando Rearmed if you didn't. That game is
Why don't
everything you want.
I got a better idea. Why don't you play Russian Attack for the NES?
Why don't you play Bionic Commando for the NES?
I played some Bionic Commander for the Game Boy, let me tell you.
So what do you got for me?
So, you know Jane McGonigal, right? She did the keynote at PAX.
Oh, yeah, she did.
She made this game, and if you're in New York, you can play this game.
Barkball?
No.
Chicken bowling?
No, it's called Find the Future, and you play it at the library, the New York Public Library, the big one.
Do I research science and try to better the world?
I don't know what the hell you do, but you basically go to the library, and you go to this website, and you do whatever it says, and then 500 people on May 20th, 2011, which is in 44 days, 9 hours, 23 minutes, and some seconds from now at the time of this recording.
Smart listeners, you can figure out exactly when we recorded Geek Nights.
500 people are going to stay overnight at the Stephen A. Schwartzman building and become the first in the world to play a new game, Find the Future.
Whoa, wait a minute. New York Public Library?
Yeah.
I work right next to that.
I know. So you have to go to the library and, do this, play the game that's on the website, submit your entry, and then 500 people who enter are going to play the game again, the real game, I guess, on May 20th.
Okay,
overnight at the library.
I'm spending my lunch over there tomorrow.
Yeah, so this is looking pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, as a random aside, if you weren't at PAX or if you were stupid and didn't go to the keynote, I'll try to find a link to it. You should be able to find her keynote from PAX. It was pretty damn amazing.
Yeah, it had a lot of crossover with her TED Talk, though, if you've seen that.
It did. But
and her book, if you've read that.
But it was obvious a lot of the people in the audience did not. What scares me is how many people at our panels did not go to the keynote.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that there was a simulcast. So while the keynote filled up, like you couldn't get in, as far as I can tell, there was plenty of space in the simulcast
because I figure
room.
anyone who was there that wasn't at the keynote was one of those Expo Hall type of people. Or they had some other conflicting panel that they cared more about. So they were not, or they were playing games. So they weren't likely to watch a simulcast.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So things of the day. It turns out, now I didn't read the study behind this. I am quoting an article that is talking about an article from the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology. But supposedly, there is evidence that if you are thinking about being high, as in physically higher than some arbitrary reference point, you are more likely to cooperate and be altruistic in general. So if you put, say, a Salvation Army bin at the top of an escalator or stairway, people are 50% more likely to give than if you put it at the bottom of an escalator or elevator or stairs or ramp or anything. It even applies to showing people a video of flying versus a video of walking or driving.
Uh-huh.
I bring this up on a Tuesday because one of the panels we did at PAX was game mechanics and mechanism design. The whole idea that you can design a game that will cause certain behaviors in the players.
So you should put the in-game charity bucket at the top of the in-game escalator?
No, you should have a picture of the sky at the end of your demo with a button that says buy the game.
Yeah, you get people go up the stairs at the end of the game before you give them the buy full version button. That's a good idea.
There appears to be evidence that would probably work.
Probably.
So
and make sure
there's
birds going.
Now think about this for everything. Cookie Brigade. You got to be at the top of every one of those escalators just holding out
the
cookies.
Cookie Braid already sells all the cookies.
True, but they could possibly get more money.
Oh,
or if you need a player to play diplomacy with you, get them into the game at the top of an escalator.
Yeah, you should. The looking for game people should be at the top of escalators and stairs, being like, "Want to play."
I wonder if we can apply this. We're thinking about doing a show on it because out there, you German board game players, there's the problem where nobody wants to play a wooden cube game until they play it and then they love it. I feel like we need to use this, like walk up to someone, show them a picture of an airplane, and they'd be like, "Do you want to play a wooden cube game?" It might
Maybe
work.
we should just try wooden cube games that have themes of sky and airplanes and such.
While playing that song Sky High from Dance Dance Revolution. Maybe this is why we like Rainbow Dash so much too. So yeah, I thought this was cool. And, it's kind of a reminder that psychology and game mechanics and mechanism design and games are all pretty much cut from the same cloth. The only difference is that mechanism design uses a lot more math.
All right. So have you ever heard of a person named Peter Adkison?
My brain says yes, but I don't know who.
He's an important person. He was the founder and first CEO of Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, right.
He's also currently the president of Gen Con, or the owner of Gen Con, CEO and owner of Gen Con. And he was responsible for uniting D&D and Magic the Gathering under Wizards of the Coast and selling it to Hasbro.
So remember back in the day, all the conspiracy people who were like, Wizards of the Coast is gonna turn D&D into Magic the Gathering and ruin it.
But anyway,
Little did they know they would turn it into World of Warcraft.
he's currently
instead.
the CEO of Hidden City Games, where they make the Bellicera. Remember where Luke and Jared worked for a time?
Who would want to play a game about horses online? Anyway.
But here is a very interesting interview with this man where he discusses many things, such as purchasing Hasbro and regretting losing the Pokemon card game license and such and such.
Purchasing Hasbro? You mean being purchased by Hasbro?
Right, exactly. There is an interesting. I'm going to give you just one question and answer here that's in the middle of the interview that makes it kind of funny. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Someone says, define fantasy in 25 words or less. That the interviewer said that.
I've heard that question has been asked of many people before.
So he says, I look to fantasy for entertaining stories about heroes, their beliefs, how those beliefs are challenged and dealt with, and how that changes the hero.
There might be a role-playing system he might enjoy.
Perhaps he has heard of it. Perhaps he
should
employed the creator of that system. No, but you should. It's a good interview worth reading if you are someone who cares about tabletop things in general. Right. He also even mentions here the best thing Hasbro has done in the last 10 years. Big IMO caveat here. Is the joint venture with Discovery Kids to create its own Hub children's television channel. If Hasbro and Wizards can figure out how to leverage the Hub together, that would be awesome.
You know what? In case anyone is unaware out there, new listeners, maybe they don't listen to the other shows. If they
this is a man who owns a company that makes a horsey trading card game.
If they gave up on kids
girls.
and they made D&D related shows and just put them on the Hub.
Well, D&D comics do that badly, actually, I think. And they're actually, I think it's partially because they're awful.
Yeah, I think that's the problem there. I feel like there's a way to tap that. I mean, look at how
Sorry,
crazily
people
popular.
who make the D&D comics, but if you don't suck, you're doing a sucky job.
I have a feeling.
Honest.
I mean, look at Penny Arcade, for example, at PAX, when they did that, we're going to play D&D on stage, how crazily popular that stuff is.
Yeah.
I feel like you could turn that into a show.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attack in the Darkness and such.
Yep.
But anyway, the meta moment. We are going to be at Anime Boston upcoming in a few weeks, doing a whole bunch of panels. We are going to be at the MoCA this weekend.
Yep.
Not doing any panels, but we'll be interviewing people. Our friends Yuko and Ananth, Johnny Wander, will have a table.
They're having a table. Whoa!
Finally, after like 5 years of us saying they should get a table, they have a table.
Oh, snap.
So you should go find them and pester them. We should come up with something weird for you to say to them.
Everyone should go up and do the same thing to them. Like,
what's the thing? It has to be something weird enough to where
you got to get Yuko to draw ponies, as many ponies as possible.
That's self-interested. All right, guys,
That's fine.
your
What's
mission
wrong with that?
Your mission is to trick Yuko and Ananth into drawing pictures of ponies and then scan them in and give them to us.
We need the Yuko Ananth MoCA pony collection. As many My Little Ponies as,
You cannot tell them that we put you up to that. Just tell them that you really want them to, and that a little bird told you that they were the ones to ask.
No, just say that you're a huge fan of My Little Ponies,
and them,
and you know that with her art style, she would draw an amazing one.
This will also tell us if they listen to Geeknights in a timely manner or not.
I don't think they did listen to Geeknights at all.
Occasionally, I believe they do.
I don't know.
Our friends listen far less than all of you.
They shouldn't.
No. The book club book, which we'll be talking about on Thursday, was Michio Kaku's Hyperspace.
Which for many of you is probably tomorrow.
Yes.
Also, on May, let's see.
1st, it is Outdoor Fucking Day.
That is true.
Do you have anything?
I do, yeah. Here. Well, I mean, there's,
you got something? Come on.
Yeah, I can't get the page to load.
We submitted our panels for Otakon, so we'll see if we're going there. PAX Prime is 5 months or so away. We will be doing panels at it. There is also, I'm going to say a word. I'm not going to say anything about it because I can't. PAX Dev.
We don't know what that is.
We don't know what that is. but it is something.
All right.
It is something that might happen someday.
It might never happen.
Yes,
It's
in which
a
case,
word that I heard. That's all. I don't know anything else about it. If I knew, I would tell you.
The word was passed to us some time ago with no further information.
All right. So yeah, on May, did you say Anime Boston already?
Yes.
Okay. On May 21st and 22nd in New York City, there is going to be Bar Camp. So the registration information will appear at some point. But if you go to the Barcamp NYC Twitter account, there is a link to where you can sign up to be notified of when you'll be able to register. So do that if you are a New York City person you want to go to Barcamp. I'm helping organize it. It's going to be good.
So I enjoyed Street Fighter and RTSs and, fighting games, but
what do RTSs have to do with it?
Well, they're the same thing basically.
Not really.
Just a higher level, but I think they're mostly the same. They're more execution matters more than strategy at the low levels.
In some of the games, yes.
Yes. And at the high level, strategy matters only because execution is perfect.
That's right.
But I am ass at these games. I am so bad at Street Fighter that despite spending a lot of time practicing and trying to become good, I'm trivially dispatched by even what I would consider low-ranking players.
Yeah, I mean, there are games, such as Jungle Speed, which are pure execution, right? There's no strategy to Jungle Speed.
Well, there is, technically. The strategy
What is the strategy?
Here's the strategy.
Execute perfectly?
If I match someone else, I will grab the totem before they do.
There is no one has any different strategies. Everyone has the optimal strategy in Jungle
I do have
Speed.
a secondary strategy that not everyone has.
What?
Colors. It's a match. It's a match. Grab it.
The point is that a game like Jungle Speed,
there's no talking in Jungle Speed.
Execution is everything, and the winner is determined purely by execution.
I mean, I have a strategy in hockey.
Games,
I take the biscuit and I put it in the basket as much as I can.
In other games, right, strategy dominates, right? So, in diplomacy, there pretty much is no execution whatsoever. It's all strategy.
Actually, I would argue that diplomacy is nothing but execution of applied psychology.
Whatever. The point is that it's not, a sport. Right?
Or locking the door before Scott Johnson gets back to put in his orders.
Sure, whatever. Right? Other games, right, have a mixture of the two. For example, football is the strategy and the execution mixed together. However, in some games, right, where even when the two factors are present, right, one of the factors has been mastered. For example, there are many games where, for example, baseball, there is execution and strategy in baseball, but people have mastered the strategy such that only the execution matters at high levels of play. At low levels of play, people still haven't mastered the strategy, so both things still matter, right? But at high levels in Major League Baseball, only execution really matters, right? And such, in fighting games like Street Fighter, right, there is execution and strategy both come into effect. However, at the highest levels, execution has largely been perfected, and only the strategy mostly matters at the highest levels, right, of things like Street Fighter and RTSs, right? Whereas on the low levels of Street Fighter and RTSs, both execution and strategy matter because neither one of them have been mastered.
Now imagine if you took Street Fighter 4, let's say, Championship Edition, and...
Championship Edition?
Yeah.
You mean Super Street Fighter 4?
And made it where execution didn't matter, where I input my string of moves, and we take turns even.
And you can take as long as you want.
Yep, all right, I'm going to throw a Hadoken, and if
you don't tell the guy that before you do it.
Yeah, but if he comes near me, I'm going to... So... Yomi is basically that. It's Street Fighter the card game.
Yeah, I mean, it's made by this guy named Serlin, who has he's making a bunch of games now. He made this puzzle game with the chips, right? Or something that people are talking about.
Oh yeah, they were playing that at ZenkaiCon.
Yeah, and basically I kept hearing about this Yomi game, and people just kept talking about it. And then I saw some people play it once, and I noticed that it was also a real deck of cards, 2, 3, 4, 5, Jack, Queen,
Puzzle
King, Ace.
Strike.
Yeah, that's the other one. All right. Then this guy also has on his website, he wrote a book about playing to win the game. So we like this guy. But this guy, Serlin, I think he's also, if I'm not mistaken, a
master of mechanism design. His site shows at the top, your shopping bag is empty, and there's a sad-looking shopping bag looking at you with big eyes,
Yep.
And if you put something in it, he's happy.
Yep. But anyway, yeah, this guy knows what he's going on. I'm pretty sure he's like a semi-professional fighting game guy, but it's
like
us, he was always upset that pretty much, he's going to beat the hell out of us at fighting games, but he still was always bothered by the fact that, he couldn't execute, perfectly along with, the highest level guys, even though he felt that he was strategically on the same level or higher level than them. He couldn't beat them because execution
that is not
there.
a flaw in any game, because I am of the mind that execution and elegance of execution is a very fine form of competition.
Yes,
I mean,
it's fantastic.
The strategy of hockey, whatever, but the execution of hitting a guy into the boards as hard as you can
without doing a penalty
matters to me quite a bit. I enjoy watching such interplay. But there is a place for both, and I like the fact that he's considered how to take a game like Street Fighter and bring it down to the low level so someone who does not have the execution abilities can enjoy the high-level strategy.
Yeah, I mean, but basically there's a strategy in Street Fighter, but you can't really access that strategy unless you get really, really good at the execution. And not many people can do that, so even though many people play Street Fighter, very few people experience the strategy of Street Fighter because it's inaccessible to them. They need to be masters of the joystick before they can get there. So he made a game.
Before you can master the joystick, you must first master yourself.
Yeah, he made a game called Yomi, which is a card game, which has the exact same or nearly the exact same strategic elements and play as Street Fighter or most fighting games.
You've got your power bar, your life.
Yeah, with none of the execution. So it doesn't matter if you can't use a joystick for poop. You can get the same Street Fighter experience by playing Yomi.
You are good at close-up magic and you just cheat with the cards.
Yes, we're assuming no cheating.
Because I've been practicing. I think I can fairly effectively reveal a card in either direction without the other player noticing.
We'll just play the digital version.
Hack it.
There's a real digital version. It's official on the website. It's in beta.
I'll hack it.
Anyway, so what's Yomi all about? So Yomi is a non-collectible card game, right? Where there's decks of cards, there's 10 of them, and you can buy sets of 2 or you can buy the full set. The full set's really expensive. It's like $100-something, right? But the individual, to buy just 2 decks is like 20-something.
My suggestion to distribute the cost and to make sure you like it is do what we did and buy 1 set of 2 and play the game a couple times. If you're intrigued at all, trick one of your idiot friends into buying a set of 2 different characters.
Yeah, no, it's non-collectible, non-customizable. It's not Magic the Gathering, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's not Pokemon. But each individual deck is a different character. So think of it like, this deck is Guile, and this deck is M. Bison, and this deck is Chun-Li. And originally, I'm pretty sure he wanted the Street Fighter license, but he couldn't get it, so he just made up characters. And the first set is Fantasy Strike, and I think the next set is going to be something else, right? So each set is going to be a different, setting with different characters. And so when the next set comes out, you have, 10 more characters. And the next set comes out, you have 10 more characters.
It has all the aesthetics of a video fight. It has the stupid plot of a fighting game. It has the characters and the backstory. The characters are all kind of absurd. It is everything you would expect.
Yep, it is exactly like a fighting game in every way. And here's how the game works, right? You take your deck of cards, which is also a regular deck of cards, 52 plus 2 jokers, right? You shuffle it up, you draw 7, and every turn you play rock, paper, scissors. And the rock, paper, scissors is pretty much either attack, throw, or block dodge, right? So block dodge beats attack, attack beats throw, and throw beats block and dodge, right? So you play rock, paper, scissors.
Kind of like a fighting game.
Yeah, just like a fighting game. And if you win the rock, paper, scissors, then you get to do a bunch of damage, possibly. But first, before you do a combo, right, which is how you would do even more damage, the other person gets to bluff. They can put a card face down and bluff, which is like a ha-ha, right? And that ha-ha-ha is pretty much like either it's like, okay, you can risk doing a combo, but if I'm not bluffing, your combo is going to be a waste.
The best part, though, is that the dynamics are like a fighting game. Attacks have speed. If attack hits attack, the faster one gets through. And you have this combo system where if you hit someone once, I poke M. Bison with my jab, I then lay in with the combo into my ender that knocks him down.
Yeah, but if he was bluffing, that combo is just going to be a big waste, and he'll block the rest of the combo, even though the first
Or
hit
if
got
I
in.
dodge, I get to counter. But if I block, then I get other things. But
if you block a special attack, you still take a little bit of chip damage.
Yep, and some characters, their damage that goes through the block is substantial.
Yeah, and every character has different attacks, different special abilities, right? Certain cards, every card actually has 2 abilities on it, right?
So you pick which way you want it to face, and like one side's attack, one side's dodge.
Yep, and special attacks, some of them are the same thing on both sides, but some of them have 2 different abilities. Like, the Fishman, he can either do a bubble shield, or he can do like some crazy attack with the other side of the same card.
It's a complete information game, and that you know the fullness.
No, you don't know what the other person's
Scott,
hand is.
yes, it's not a perfect information game. It is a complete information game because you know the entirety of the strategies available to both characters.
No, because you don't know what cards he has in his hand. You don't know, is a block even possible for him this turn?
But you know the total array of possible strategies, and you know what you
No, because a strategy might be impossible if he doesn't
at
have
that
that card in
time,
his
but
hand.
it is theoretically possible at any point.
Theoretically. Maybe.
It's not perfect information.
I don't know.
But
I think you'd have to know what's in his hand.
Now, Scott, complete information simply means basically it means that you know the rules of the game, and you know the rules both players are playing by.
You do know the rules, yes.
Perfect information.
If you look
means
through the other guy's deck and know all his cards.
Yes, means that you know every decision that has been made up to this point, and there are no simultaneous decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is nothing but simultaneous decisions.
That's right. And there's also lots of hidden cards and all sorts of other stuff.
Pretty much, that's it. I mean, the characters all have neat powers. Like Lum, the gambling panda, is just fucking
We only
random
have 4
BS.
of the characters, so I don't know about the other 6. But the ones we have, we got the regular people, the red and blue. They seem to be like the main.
And we have the 2 lizard man equivalents, the weirdo characters.
Yeah, the random panda and the defensive fishman. Who is?
I love the defensive fishman.
Fishman's pretty good. He does 2 damage every single round, no matter what, unless he's knocked down.
My only worry is that we played a whole bunch of times, and the blue guy in the first deck you bought so far is undefeated by a wide margin.
No, I think the red girl won once when I played at Board Game Night.
Oh.
How about that?
All right.
Yeah.
The blue guy has that one combo that does like 45 damage.
Well, no, it's one move that does 45 damage. But you need to have 3 aces, right? That's another cool thing about the game is like it has all these mechanics that so perfectly represent mechanics in fighting games, right? If you do a combo of regular attacks, then you get to search your deck to get aces, which are always your best attack. You can discard pairs, 3 of a kind and 4 of a kind to go search for aces. You can do all these things to go get aces out of your deck, and that's basically the equivalent of powering up the EX meter at the bottom of the screen in any fighting game, right? And that way, even though you might have used all your cards already, you can go dig for the aces to get more. So you can keep unleashing your best attack, your ultra or your super or whatever, even though you've already used it.
You also draw aces if you chain together long combos.
I said that already.
But the big part is that different characters have different limits on combos. Like the panda only has 4. The fishman has 3. One character has like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think that some of the characters, every character has a particular strategy.
I think it's Valerie has more than anyone.
Yeah, but the thing is, some of the characters, right, are just pretty, from what I hear, they're just win against other characters. It's sort of like a rock, paper, scissors before you even start. Like if you take the guy who's all about blocking and you take the other guy who's all about getting through blocks, well, guess who's going to win most of the time?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's kind of like a fighting game.
Yeah, it is kind of, if the other guy chooses a character and you see what character he chooses, you can pick a character that's strong against that character.
But then he'll pick a different character, and it's the same problem. And I wonder what would happen
it's
if
just
you
like
had
a fighting game.
Panda versus panda.
Yeah, if you got 2 decks, I see no reason why you couldn't do that. You just have to get, even if you, thing is you can't even do that if you buy the full set. You have to buy 2 full sets to do that.
That's why I'm saying just everyone who cares about this game, if your friends like it, is get each one of them to buy one of the sets of 2.
Well, if you
all go in and buy the box and split it up.
The
obviously.
box does come with like mats to play on and life counters and that sort of extra stuff if you want it. So it's not a total waste to get the fancy full box.
The mats are stupid.
Yeah, I don't even know why you need mats, but life counters would be good because we keep using paper to count life or
cell phones
or
notepad,
and it's not the most convenient thing. A counters, 2d10 is what you really want to get to count your life in this game. Because every character basically has a different amount of starting hit points, and
honestly, I wouldn't mind just playing it on a smartphone.
The whole game on a smartphone?
Yeah.
I see no reason why they couldn't do that.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
They would.
One of the things I don't like about this game, though, I guess it's sort of mandatory, is that it's 2-player, right? It's like I sort of wish it was more than 2 players somehow. That would be totally cool.
It would be possible if they made another set, which obviously is probably going to happen, to have rules for like, all right, 2-on-2, and like here's the
you could have
extra rules
tournaments.
for that.
You could take any of the Street Fighter multiplayer modes. Like,
Johnny Cage versus Johnny Cage.
You could have knockout mode where basically, you have two teams, and the weakest guy in each team fights, and the winner fights the next guy.
Or you play where you both have two characters and just make up a rule where you tag out.
What do you mean tag out?
Like I tag out to my other character by spending an action.
Oh, so they carry you the other guy, so you play it more like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
And you keep track of the 3 hip HPs of the characters separately, and you have 3 decks.
Yeah.
And you have 3 discard piles and 3 hands. And you can only use one at a time at any given turn.
I could dig that.
But you would just tagging out doesn't cost you anything?
Well, you got to come up with a good way to do it, or wait for an official version, which will probably come, that does stuff like that.
Yeah, I would make it like discard 2 cards to tag out, or something like that.
Yep, or you have to successfully dodge or block.
Yeah, something like, Or maybe like if you tag out, then you cannot you must attack or throw. You can't, some sort of restriction like that. I don't know. But yeah, the game has knockdowns. It's got there are some weird rules, like if you get knocked down, then you can't be blocked by like something mix-ups. It's like, what? It's kind of weird, but it explains it pretty clearly on one of the cards to help you out.
Yep, I mean, once you learn it, it's actually really straightforward. The rules are just like a fold-out. Magic is way harder than this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not... I wouldn't say it's like the greatest game in the world, but it's a 2-player game, which is rare, right?
You can just whip it out.
It's got a lot of replay value. You can play it very quickly. I mean, if you play it with people who know the rules, it's as quick as a round of fighting, of Street Fighter, which is pretty great. The only things is that it is, no fooling, pretty much rock, paper, scissors plus randomness determines victory.
Which, of course, I mean, Scott and I played 2 rounds earlier. I barely won the second one, and Scott got a flawless victory on the first one. I literally lost every
perfect.
paper, rock, scissor the whole time. I do dodge, he does throw. I do attack, he does block. Like, it was just perfect. There was nothing I could do.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose the rock, paper, scissors every time, you lose. That's just how it goes.
Yep.
Right? And that and the thing is, that's what fighting games are at the highest level is rock, paper, scissors with some randomness, right? It's
all games break down to either arbitrary, random, or solvable.
I mean, there's no solvable because you're against a human opponent. What are you going to solve, right? He could push any button.
I play tic-tac-toe against a human opponent.
No. But I mean, there's so many possible attacks that it's not a solvable thing, right?
Yeah.
In a fighting game.
Now, unless you're tricky.
Unless and it could be a broken fighting game where it's like, aha, this unblockable combo over and over again will win, and that's the solution.
That's basically why Kenshiro wins every fight.
Yeah, but non-broken.
He has one attack that just can't be blocked.
In non-broken fighting games, when you've mastered the execution, it comes down to rock, paper, scissors plus a little bit of randomness, all right? And that's what Yomi is.
Yeah. Well, or, Bushido Blade came down to, I know how to do the throw and no one else does, so I win every round.
Yeah, but think about it. It's like, okay, I'm Bison and you're Guile, and we're playing Street Fighter, and we're both masters, right? So I'm gonna go and try to do this attack, and people always talk about like you try to trick the other guy into doing a move to leave himself open. That's exactly what it's all about in Yomi.
Just like the old samurai fights where, I will open myself up to let him hit me, knowing that he will hit me unmortally, but I will hit him mortally.
Yeah, I sort of like this idea, though. I wish that it would expand to more areas, right? Like, maybe what we should do is go in both directions, right?
Wait, so we take an RTS and make it turn-based?
No.
Like a turn?
That's not what I'm talking about, right? So, in Street Fighter, right, they took out the execution component so that people who couldn't execute could learn and appreciate the strategic component, and maybe some of those people will go back and play fighting games, and maybe some fighting game people will play Yomi, and it'll cross over, right? Maybe what we need to do is take some other games, and remove a component that people can't get past, right, and cross them over.
For most games, that's skill.
Right. Or we can take games.
Scott, they did that. First-person shooters, they made Halo.
All right, but I'm talking about we could take, say, Puerto Rico, add an execution component, and keep the same strategy as Puerto Rico, but add execution, make it a video game.
You've got to crokinole your brown guys into the plantations.
Exactly. Something along those lines. Take take a game that has a strategy and an execution, remove one or the other. Take a game that only has one, add the other. And try to get crossover, because
I feel like this is how
even though these two different games will have the same strategy or same execution component,
at least
and
when
thus there'll be crossover between the communities.
When I imagine board games, like I'm playing Puerto Rico a whole bunch, and I think about, man, what kind of game do I want? It's always take Puerto Rico and add one additional component, or remove one fundamental component, or replace one component. And it's basically that.
Yeah. I mean, you look, some people are sort of doing it. Like, you look at Le Havre is pretty much Caelus plus Agricola.
Yep.
And he even says as much in the instructions.
Minus a theme. The theme of Le Havre is basically
boats.
Get victory points.
Pictures of boats. Get points.
How? Abstractions.
At least Caelus has a real theme.
Yeah, put stuff in the castle.
I played a game of Caelus at Board Game Night.
Oh my god, I want to play Caelus again real bad.
I crushed it.
Because you went into the castle and
no
you tried to do the gold
I went
bullshit.
into the castle. This other guy did all gold, and he was in second place, but he didn't castle at all, so he lost a bunch of points. And this other guy was way behind, like dead last, but he caught up to second place in the final round. But I won the dungeon and the walls. He won the tower, and I still did pretty good in the tower, so no one could catch me.
Kids, if you'd gone to our How to Win a Games panel, we told y'all how to win Caelus.
Direct path to victory.
Just go to the castle.
Direct path. Favors. Bottom favorite track to get free buildings.
Yep.
I built a blue building. No one else built a blue building. I won.
Yep. Buildings and victory points.
Yep. No one can stop me. All right.
But yeah, Yomi is fun.
Actually, I even made a mistake. I probably could have had 2 blue buildings because I forgot the gold mine existed, and I could have chosen the green building favor one more time.
Nah.
But anyway.
God, I really want to play Caelus now.
Yeah,
like real bad.
Let's do it. Anyway.
So Yomi.
Yomi is the new hotness. Everyone's talking about it, and not with no reason. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's good.
Well, I posit because we have had
it's worth your monies.
We have had a renaissance, like not even really a renaissance, but a surge of this kind of game lately in our crew at conventions.
It's 10 billion times better than Munchkin.
Because there are 2 times when we need a game that we can whip out relatively quickly without a lot of fuss and mess, that can be taught easily and played to completion before the line moves. Standing in line for something, or warming up while we're waiting for everyone to finish their business to play a real game.
Yep.
And Spot It, Jungle Speed, and Yomi are like the 3 best games for the Bananagrams.
Yeah, the problem I keep having, though, is that people play these games, and then these games dominate. Like, people just sit there playing Spot It for an hour. And it's like, no, you're supposed to spot it for like a minute while someone sets up the cube game. And once the cube game is set up, stop playing Spot It.
Thus the fundamental problem of the cube game. We got to play the cube game up in that hallway above the expo hall instead of down in the bottom of the expo hall.
Yeah. Anyway.
With Rainbow Dash.
Yep.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not 1, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.